So you're in the market for a more affordable but feature-packed in-ear monitoring rig because you're fed up dealing with live sound. And I literally hear. So let's see what's on offer from the awesome guys over at Sennheiser.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Yo guys and dolls, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you're old school, you know what we're about by now. It's all about gear, porn, demos. For the average guy, for the man on the street, for the weekend warrior, too professional. So from the guy who just wants it all, but he wants to pay the right price for it, I suppose. The everyman. So today we are going to be looking at the Sennheiser IEM. It's the XSW IEMs, which is the in-ear monitoring system. It is a full stereo rig, capable of some absolutely amazing fidelity, but it's got one feature in particular that the weekend warrior, that the every guy should be looking for, and then with the proviso that it will build up with you. So we'll start by introducing you to the kit. So the most important bit, or I should say the most important bit, there are two very important bits. One of the bits is this guy, which is the receiver. This is the guy that is going to receive all that juicy goodness from the next guy we're going to introduce ourselves to, which is the transmitter. It is a plastic construction, but don't let that put you off. It just means that when you swing this into your guitar, which is inevitable, you ding this and not your guitar. It's very roadworthy, so this has had a good few drops in its time, and it's showing a few little signs, got a few little dings on there, but it's holding out perfectly. This opens up, and that gives you all your controls and your battery pack. This is where we can go into the menu, and the options we have inside this are, we can set the channels, of which we have eight banks of 8. So we will definitely find a channel that which will be clear, or we can also find one as well. Then it takes us into the limb, which is a limiter for the peaks and troughs. So if you find that you've got a bass player or a guitarist who just doesn't give a crap when he's unplugging his or her guitar instrument, you get this big ping in your in-ears. That'll limit all that. Also, if the desk decides to just go into line level rather than instrument level or whatever, you have limited the danger of blowing your eardrums out. Great thing to put in a system. The next one along will give us our EQ. This is, I would say, a treble or presence boost. It just basically takes the top end, puts a bit of sparkle on it. If you're running click tracks, which we are, it will accentuate the click, which is brilliant because you really want to be staying on that. I use it, I run it, even though it does sound to me better without it. There's a little bit more bass, a little bit more oomph. But you can run the volume a little bit lower with it on, and it definitely does mean the click track sits quite high in the mix. I'd rather that, to be honest with you, so I leave it on. Focus mode. Now, I've watched a few demos or a few videos of this system, and people don't really seem to explain it right, or some people do, but most don't. So what focus mode does is it takes two mono mixers or two mono feeds from your transmitter, and it puts them in both ears. It basically sums them into one focus sound, and at that point your pan control will pan between whatever's in channel 1 and whatever's in channel 2, whatever's in left and whatever's in right. So if, for example, I'm in right and the band are in left, I want more me, I pan myself right. Simple as that. I get more me, but not in my right ear. I get more me in general. If I want more band, I go left, I get more band. It keeps me where I am, but it just gives me more band. So I've got a 2-channel mixing desk built into my receiver, which means I don't have to go running over to the sound guy all the time. I don't have to go find anyone to help me out, and I definitely don't have to delve deep into apps or mixing desks to give me what I want. More me is all I want. It's basically what we all want when we're guitar players. We want enough backing track and we want more me so we can hear what we're doing. it's a godsend that you've got that in your pack on your back, because you don't have to go messing about with other things. It's brilliant. It's an absolute. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to not having that option. Right, and remember, we're doing this on a budget, so we haven't got Behringer X32 or SoundLab running stereo mixers to the whole band. That's a godsend. Then we have the next most important bit of the rig, which is the transmitter. So this is a metal construction. It's got a nice it's kind of married up in that Sennheiser silvery grey, which is just lovely. It's got this lovely high contrast screen, as the receiver. It's a 12 volt 500 milliamp in, so you could run this off a good pedal power if you're running it the way I run it, and I'll explain that in another video. Absolutely epic. This is the business. So we've got 2 in, and they are multi-jack, so I can go in with an XLR or a standard quarter inch. That again is just brilliant. The amount of times that you haven't got the right lead or whatever, this time you will always have it. Got a nice little cable lock there, so we can lock the cable in to stop that getting pulled out. Very, very good. Also, for you drummers out there, we have got a headphone out. If you are running wired, you can just come out of this, which is brilliant. So that means you can come out of this and you've got 2 packs. So for your drummer and maybe your bass player and your rhythm guitar player, there's your mix right there. You've got 3 band off 1 unit. Or if you're a sound guy, you can just channel into this and figure out who's getting what and tailor that accordingly. And if you run 2 or 3 of these, you can just plug your headphones in and make sure everyone's got the right mix. I like to do my own, however, so this is why this is a godsend. So really, really good high quality inputs, and a good rugged case. So testament to that is 2 lasses decided to be very, very drunk last night's gig, and they fell over onto this antenna. What I would have expected to happen is this just shatter into a million pieces and gig be over. It didn't. It absolutely stayed bomb-proof. Absolutely bomb-proof. So this just went rip, and it went out the way. They landed on it. I told them off. And then they didn't listen. They did it again later on, which was brilliant. Loads of fun. So anyway, yeah, really rugged, and it will take a couple of lasses falling on it. Nothing wrong with that. Then on the front of this, we've got a couple of different options. So we have audio, which is going to suggest whether you are in stereo or mono mode. So if you set that, it'll just flash, and then you get stereo or mono. Leave it in stereo. So what that does basically is you will have mono will be you've got 1 rig running in and it's going to send into both ears. Stereo, if you have 1 in, it'll just run to the input you've got. So if you run into the left in stereo, you're going to get into the left ear. If you run another in, you're going to get it right ear, which is where that full stereo comes from. However, if you run it in stereo and then focus on your pack, it's going to sum both of those up into 2 ears. It's a one mono mix. Mono, you're just going to get 1, and it's going to sum it up. So you get 1 input, but you get left and right into your in-ears. Awesome. Right, if you tap that again, you get this gain. So I've got it running at minus 15 dB. That can go all the way up to plus 15, I think. Oh no, unity. So it goes to unity, so you can bring it down. The reason why I'm running it at minus 15 is I found that it was very loud anyway, like ridiculously loud. So I've got my pack. My pack was running on the first little nubbin, and that was perfect. That was just right. I can't believe how much headroom you've actually got on this unit. So that again is testament to paying a little bit extra for a company that you know and love. I think cheaper companies really struggle in that regard. There's just not a lot of output. I don't know why that is, but that's where I normally find the difference. So that's that. So that's your audio. And then when it's not flashing about, if you press the down key, you will move into the next option, which is your tuner. Now that gives you all of your presets. So you've got, so I'm currently B1, and that has 8. And then I've also got 8 channels. So I've got 8 banks of 8 channels. That's a lot of frequencies. If you can't find the right frequency there, you are in a radio station trying to do a gig. I can't imagine where the frig you'd be. But get out of there, man. Just go buy a guitar lead. You should wear some headphones. I don't know. You're not going to get away with it. But you will get away with playing anywhere with that amount of frequencies. I promise you. And then the next time we press set... Oh, let me get out of there. Is tune. And then you set that, and then you literally can just individually tune up or down in 25 millihertz increments. Again, if you cannot find 8 banks of 8 presets and then 25 step increments, I don't know where you're playing, but get the hell out of there. And that is it. And then back to audio, and there you go. So that's all the receiver's doing. So absolutely brilliant rig. Fizziwig, what you see is what you get. Absolutely awesome. There is some other models. So if you step up to the G4, you get a link. So you get a left and a right out. So you can then go into other things, and there's a few more options on that. But that's about it. On the G4 also you get an auto sync function, but another 400 quid. I don't know whether that's worth it. I think the fidelity of this is absolutely amazing. And then another thing we get, so thinking about the sync situation, it's like, right, okay, well I found a preset, what's the deal? Right, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to make sure that I'm not on the same preset, not on the same increment as I am here. So let me go into tune, and I'm just going to tune down. Right, okay, so I'm in 23 something. Okay, I'm just going to set that. So I'm in 823.8, but on my receiver, I'm on 830. What I do now is I press the sync button, it starts flashing, I show it that, and now we're both on 823, which is brilliant. So now I've just synced up. One of the tips is if you turn this unit off, now I'm in a really, really quiet RF area, so this is not really a problem to me. But basically, if you're really noisy, if you just go through your presets, go through your syncs, the minute there is no RF signal coming in, you're going to hit your set button, and then you're going to sync that to your transmitter. That will mean you're going to get the clearest signal. If there's RF all over that channel while your sender is off, it means you're going to get a shitload of interference. So just do that and you'll be fine. And that's it, guys. That is the Sennheiser XSW IEM. It's their most affordable, full-function, full-featured in-ear monitor system. And it is without a doubt an essential these days, I think, especially with the way things are going. Is it as good as the G4? Well, no. The G4 is £1,000. The G4 has an auto sync function. I think if you go up one stage further than that, one of them, it just will automatically find signals whenever there's interference. It just switches for you. You'll never drop out. You'll never have an issue. Is that worth an extra £500? I don't know. But for me last night, in a very, very, very busy venue, with everyone on in-ears and everyone using wireless guitar systems, I didn't have a single dropout, and I didn't even check the RF. I just literally plugged it in and I started playing. I forgot to find a clean signal, and it worked great. So I wouldn't worry. I'd be happy all day with this rig. And as I say, construction, plastic, but it's good because it's nice and lightweight, and it's not going to smack into your guitar and cause any damage. Transmitter, solid metal, and it's great, and it's a good weight, and it'll take a couple of chicks falling on it. And if it'll take a couple of chicks falling on it, surely it's worth anyone's money. And then you've got your stereo, true stereo in. Brilliant. It'll do everything you need it to do, honest to God. And for me, as a guitar player, to have this on my board, run all of the in-ears into it, all of the mix into it, and then have just me and be able to turn myself up on the receiver, Mate, that alone that's the gift. That's the gift. So yeah, so that's how it works for me. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys how I would run it on my pedal board. So I'm going to show you the whole board. But for now, that's it. That's the introduction to the XSW in-ear motor system by Sennheiser. It's definitely worth a punt, I think. Alright guys, thanks for joining. If you haven't subscribed by now, please subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. I know a lot of you guys are watching but not subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really does mean that I can move into a higher bracket of YouTuber, because I've been dwindling around 20,000 for some time now. So if you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing. It costs you nicks, and it'll move me up a bit and the videos will get better. And that's about it guys. Nice one. See you in the next one. And yeah, Sennheiser man, check them out.